Hey, welcome back. Good to see you again. Thanks for joining the channel. Today on the bench I have a record spinner. It's a Hitachi DC servo turntable model HT-20S. Now it's pretty beat up, as you can see. Somebody was not careful. They put some stuff on here, some weight, and it cracked through. It's a shame. It's really a shame when people don't take care of these turntables. And I can tell this one was not taken care of. I can show you some more damage. Right here, see these marks, and then these marks, and then these marks. Where are they? Right here. They're all made from this platter that broke loose and was banging around inside this with the lid closed. Imagine this aluminum platter banging around in here, making marks on this side, this side, this side, and even on this side. So yeah, a lot of damage. I wish people would pay more attention to turntables. They're pretty delicate, but so this lid is not very good for, like, it works as a dust cover. That's all it's for. But yeah, it really detracts from this turntable. This could be a real nice table if this wasn't all busted. You know, you could do a repolish. It would be really nice. Now, today is November 17th, 2025, and another YouTuber just released a video, Fix It. It's a good channel. If you ever get a chance, go watch his videos and subscribe. He had a turntable that he made a new lid for, and what he did is he measured it all up. This would probably be a good candidate for the same thing. He measured it all up. He had the sides, the top, and he sent his had it all done up in CAD, and he sent it off to a place, Cut Send Go or someplace, I can't remember. He mentioned it in the video. And what they do is they cut you a new lid out of pieces of acrylic plexiglass, and then they ship it back to you, and then you have to assemble it. Now, he measured this, his lid, it had a 4-degree bevel on the ends, and this probably has the same bevel. So he devised a jig to shave the ends, shave the joints, so that he had a perfect joint. He assembled it in a jig. He made up a jig, assembled it, and cemented it all together, and it turned out really nice. I was really impressed at the level of quality that he got with what he worked with, and yeah, he did a good job. So, like I said, go over and watch that video. I'm not going to go to that length on this. This is going to be a workhorse for somebody that doesn't mind a cracked lid, but we're going to go through and make sure everything else is good. It's quite dirty, quite a bit of dirt I'm looking at, and yeah, needs a good cleaning and needs everything else. So let's see what this is all about. So the platter mat comes off. Probably needs a good clean, good scrub. And we have aluminum. See, this is what I like. When people put a turntable away, a belt drive turntable, they should do this. Disconnect the belt from the motor and just let it rest on the platter on the inside here. And that way your belt won't get misshapen from sitting over this pulley for 10 years, and then you pull your turntable out and then you have a big kink in your belt because it sat and had that angle. But this is good. See, the belt is here. The belt is here, and it looks, let's see what kind of condition. It looks pretty good. It's not kinked. It's dirty. Needs a good cleaning. But this belt, we could run with this easy. There's no problem here. It's not all mushy. So yeah, we'll clean that up and we'll run with it. Very light bladder. It doesn't weigh much. Very thin. In here it's thin. And then we have a motor spinning free. It's got a big blob of dead rubber here. That might affect the sound, might give it a warble. Bearing looks good. It's re-spinning. So there's not much we can do to this. probably focus all our attention on the cartridge and tone arm. Which you'll notice there is no cartridge on here right now because I removed it. And I removed it because I was looking at it and it needs a stylus. Let's get to this later. Let's look at this and see if we can do anything for this. This has got a nice feature. I've never seen this before on a turntable. I like this. This is cord storage, so you can wrap your cords up, fold them up, and stick them in here, and it holds it. It's got like a couple of tangs, or put your cables in there. I like that. That's a good idea. But somebody's been in here. Some screws are missing. This one's missing. One here that's missing. There's a couple of holes here. I don't know what they were for. A screw here missing. Let's see what kind of damage. Somebody's been in here before playing around. Maybe they gave up on it. I don't know. This corner's broken too. It's a mystery. Alright, the big reveal. A few grease stains. Yeah, somebody's been in here. This has all been messed up. Your motor, little transformer. So we have power switch here, transformer, and we probably have a little power supply on this board. Let me take that off. This is the switch for the speed change. Okay, so let's see. We should have a little bridge rectifier filter cap to make a little DC supply for the motor. It says DC servo on the front, so I'm wondering what kind of a DC servo we're looking at here. Let's pull this up and out. It's just stuck on this one post. There we go. Alright, so yeah, this is what I thought. Fuse, bridge rectifier, filter cap, range switch, speed switch, and 2 adjustments. And this here, geez, I hate when they do this. They got mains voltage here, and this is all isolated low voltage DC. Why couldn't they put this fuse and this filter cap somewhere over here? I don't know. I don't understand this. There's lots of room here. Okay. Alright, well there's nothing really I can do to that. I can check that cap. I bet you it's fine. I'll probably just leave it alone. Okay, I'll play with that later. And our motor. It's a 2-speed motor. And then rubber isolators. You can see the trash on the pulley here. I don't know, can you see this? That's all got to be cleaned off. Because that is your flutter right there. If you let that spin around on the belt, you'll never get a constant speed. So that needs to be cleaned. And then we'll lube the motor. I can do this right now. Let's try plugging this in and seeing what happens. Alright, power switch needs to be activated. So let me work on that. I think if I just remove this screw, the switch will come out of place. One screw, switch is out of... Okay, so it should run now. Alright, plugging it in. You can hear our noisy motor. Hear how noisy it is. Be like magic, watch. Gone. Okay, I'll let that run for a while. let the oil absorb in and let it run. The reason you let it run when you freshly oil it is just to mix the lubricants, old with the new, and flush out any dirt from the bearing, and it just gives it a chance to move everything around in that bearing. So while it's doing that, I could actually clean this. I'll show you what I'm doing. You see this crap on here, you just take a screwdriver, just shave it off. All this crap comes off. You don't need to shave the metal, just the dirt. That's the quickest way to clean it. And then you take cotton swab with alcohol and just give it a good, I'll do it right now. And you follow it up with the cotton swab and some alcohol. Some trash down there. Okay. Wants to ring. That's pretty good. You can see it there. Looks pretty good. Now if you had severe pitting on here, you can get some fine grit sandpaper and do the same thing. Let the motor spin and just rub the sandpaper on there, and it'll resurface this pulley. This one's good. It's nice and quiet now. I'll let it go for a while and then I'll put it back together. Have a look at this design feature. This thing here. It's plastic, thin plastic. It's got a little, you can't see it, it's got a brass weight in here. And then you press it. It converts this motion into the linear motion pushing. And it pushes up against this. That's a cut button. What do you do if this thing snaps here at the bottom? You can't fix that. Like, who thought this up? But you know what? It's an ingenious way of saving a couple pennies on building a turntable. And then everything's, I guess this is very, very, this white plastic cracks so easy with age. It's not even funny. Wow. Alright, I see a problem here. This is the way I found it. The spring is not connected to anything. This is the anti-skating. I wonder where this spring came from. It doesn't look like it has any place to connect. You know, it might go through here. Around this thing. Let me see if I can get this. Might go around like this and connect to something. I don't know. That's a mystery. I don't see where it would hook. I have no idea. This side's glued down. Let me see if I have a manual for this thing, and maybe there's some enlighten me on what to do here. Alright, I don't need a manual, I just figured it out. So this is the anti-skating knob, and I turn it to 0. That's 0, and then I turn it up. See, there's the hook it's supposed to hook onto. So I was right, it pulls it around that center post. But why is it unhooking? Let me see if I can connect it back up. I might have to glue it there so it doesn't unhook. And this provides a little bit of spring tension on the anti-skating. There we go. So let's see how this works now. You pull on it, turn it. Higher it goes, the more tension it provides. Okay, I'll have to glue that on there somehow. Because when I go back to 0, it's going to want to fall off again. So I'll have to do something. Alright, here's my solution. So I took a little piece of wire. This is like a clip lead from a new capacitor. and I just glued it on top of that hook with a UV cure resin. So that spring cannot unhook on there now because it has to go over this big rod, and it can't. So it can't fall off anymore. So even if I turn this, it can't disconnect. And nothing's glued to the spring, the wire, so it's free to spin on that hook as it goes around. So this is back in business. So ideally, the only time you relubricate a turntable mechanism if it's got sticky grease and it's not working. This one here is seems to be working just fine. But we're gonna, just for the purpose of the video, we're gonna take it apart and relubricate it. There's nothing wrong with this lube as the way it is. So let's. Ooh, that is tight. I can't get that screw out. Hang on. I have a special weapon. Brand new screwdriver tip. This one's a little worn down, so it always wants to slip out of the socket. Okay, so let's just put this aside for now. Here, we clean this off. Grease on everything. This grease is kind of it's a petroleum-based grease. It's got a smell to it too. I think it's I'm not sure what it is. Okay, get this out. All right. Let's disconnect this spring. And this is the part we want to relubricate. So let's remove the old grease. Yeah, okay. So we had a couple surfaces here, one here, one here. We need to relubricate this and this top side too. Okay, let's just put that aside. This lever here is the automatic queuing for when it does a return. Clean the grease off there. It's almost like it's a graphite grease. And then we have a post here. Okay, I think we'll do this as well while we're here. Let's clean some of this out. You don't need to use any solvents on this, just unless you have trouble removing it. Just wipe it up. Any new grease you put over top of it will displace any of the old stuff. Okay. That's a lot better. This is good. Alright. Today I'm going to use... Can you read that? No, you can't. I smeared grease on it and now you can't read it. How do you pronounce that? Molybdenum disulfide grease. It's a black. So let's use this. Just gonna use a wooden stick. It's probably too much. Okay, I'll leave that. Lubricate this. Lubricate this. And this. Put some on here. Now we need some here. A little bit here. And we need some on the end. cam follower. Okay, we got enough here. Okay, we need our cam follower to follow into the track, and it did, so we can put our washer back. Let's put a little bit more on top here, that's way too much. So allow this to slide. This did come from this side, didn't it? I think so. Here's the other one. Here's the other washer. And don't get this stuff on your clothes. It's already staining my hands. Alright, we'll put this all back together. And then we're done. Not much to it. I'll tighten this one. This is a machine thread. I don't know why they had. This one's going into plastic, so it's a self tapper. Just tighten this, and this is a machine thread. Give it some good torque. Don't want it coming undone. And we are done. Perfect. Okay, everything's done under here. We relubed this. We repaired that spring. We lubed the motor. And I'm not doing anything with the power supply, the cap. It's just a little DC supply that supplies this motor with power. I don't care if the cap goes bad, and I don't think it is bad. I can test it, but you know, why bother? The only other thing we need to do is our speed adjustments, and that is through these two potentiometers right here. There's a hole here and a hole here. They line up with these two little holes here. So when we put the cover back on, we have access with our screwdriver. And then we'll have to do that from when we flip this over. The spindle bearing is actually pretty good. And we have to remove it. You know, let's do the spindle bearing. Yeah, I almost forgot to put the spring back on. Good enough. So let's clean this. Clean this. It's got oil all over it. I guess the oil just leaks down and goes wherever. This got a little ball end on it. And here's a little dimple. It's a little friction. You can see that. It's like a little dent, but it's polished from the end spinning on it for so long. Let's just put a little bit of grease on this. That's all we need. And put this back. I'm really sitting on the fence here about this. bearing. Seems like it's okay. What I'm going to do, instead of disassembling and cleaning this, I don't think it needs cleaning. It's actually very nice feel to it now. I'm just going to add some oil to it because it does have, I can see a felt washer around the top. It looks like it's going to add a drop of this stuff. Just let it absorb into that felt washer. And I think that's all the lube I'm going to give this thing. Now I just cleaned the belt with alcohol and a paper towel. It was quite dirty. You can see the residue I pulled off the belt. So it was quite dirty, but now it's pretty good. If you can see any of that, it's pretty black. But we're gonna run with it. So I washed this too. I washed the surface with alcohol. Just clean off any residue. We're gonna put this belt on. Okay. Let's do this. Okay, we're on. See, it spins very nice on the free bearing. Let's get our belt. There we go. Yeah. Like I said before, when you put a turntable, belt drive turntable in storage, remove this from the motor and just let it rest on the platter. That's the best thing you can do for that belt, and it'll last a lot longer than if it wasn't. Okay, so we got our motor in place. Let's put some power to this. Turn it on. We're at 45. Let's hear a scraping noise. Or maybe it's the belt. Okay, let's shut this off. So I got these. You can download these off of soundsclassic.com, and you print them off. And then what you do is you cut with a razor. You cut an X in the center to split the paper, and then you can push it over the spindle and center it. Okay, this one is 33. We'll do that first, I guess. Okay, so turn this to 33. Let's turn it on. And our lights are flooding everything, so let's turn our lights off. And the wide band on the outside is our 33. That's 45. It's going quite fast. So we are quite fast on our speed. We're going to need to adjust it. We're way out. Holy. Let me see how fast we... The plus 2% was even too slow. So we're probably about 3 or 4% too fast. Okay, now I don't know which hole is which, so I'm going to stick a screwdriver in this first hole and carefully insert. Okay, I think I have the potentiometer there. So let's put this over the edge of the table. Let's turn this on. And I'll tweak this pot and I'll see if this moves the speed adjustment. No, that's 45. Alright, so I labeled these so it's less confusing for the next guy. Okay, let's try this again. This time we got 33. Let me try adjusting this. That speeds it up. Okay, slowing it down. Right about here. No. Too slow. Pretty darn close. I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in on you. I hope this doesn't make you sick. But we are going for the wide band here in the center. These two are plus 2%, plus 3%. And if it was sat flatter, it would be easier to see. But the center one is the one we're worried about. This one we want stable. So it seems to be creeping a little bit too fast. If I crank it, that's too slow. Right about here. If you look straight down on the paper, it's easier to see. Pretty close here somewhere. It's better, a lot better than what it was when we first started. Okay, here's 45. Turn up the speed to 45. Which one are we at? Okay, this inside ring we're looking at this time. I was looking for this and that wasn't even close. So we're looking for the inside ring. And it's too fast. Oops. Right here somewhere. Still creeping. Right here. I think I got it. It's steady. If you can see that. Alrighty, let's have a look at this cartridge. So it does come off. You have a little set screw on top. And when you loosen this set screw, you can see there's little marks in the plastic. You can just pull the cartridge right out of the tone arm. This is branded Audio-Technica. Now I don't know, I don't see any other markings on this whatsoever. I think there should have been something on top here. Maybe it fell off. I doubt it though. And I don't think it's set up at all because this is loose. You see it's loose here. And the reason why it's loose is because they got these aluminum screws. And this one's stripped completely out. Can't tighten it. So let's have a look at the stylus. You can see the stylus. It'll focus. Probably not. But I don't see a nub there. I see it looks like if it is, it's pushed in or it's very, very tiny. Let me have a look at this. Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's look at this together. Alright, here's the stylus. Let's have a look at it. Get this focused. And it looks like it's broken off. Yeah, it's broken off. It's flat. There's no tip there at all. So that's the end of that one. It does say Audio-Technica on it, and if I look inside, you can see some more casting marks. M5, I don't know what that means. But anyways, that one's toast. So I did get a reproduction one. Let's have a look at this one. You see there is a tip on this one. Actually, it looks pretty good. And it's secure, it's not loose, which is a good sign. But if I flip it over, look at this. Some corrosion or something on the magnets. A little bit of moisture problem there, or what's going on? I really don't care about the magnets as long as it works. So that's basically what it is you got it's all sitting in a rubber mount, and those two magnets are 90 degrees from each other. and then the stylus follows the groove, right? And as the needle gets deflected left or right, depending on the groove in the record, the magnet for left or right will induce a magnetic field into a coil in the cartridge, and that's how you get your signal. It's a very tiny signal. It's just like a millivolt or a couple millivolts, because we're dealing with a very, very small motion and limited magnetism here in these tiny magnets, so that's why it's... But this should do the trick. So let's see if we can fit this and make it work. Now, as far as I could tell, this is an Audio-Technica HT-20S cartridge. Nothing really high-end about this cartridge at all. It's just a run-of-the-mill. And I don't see any branding on it whatsoever, which makes me kind of suspicious. But let's remove these screws. I'm going to replace these screws. These aluminum screws are garbage in my opinion. The reason they're aluminum is just to reduce weight. But is it really necessary? I don't know. So let's do this. Take this off. This one's stripped. Doesn't even want to come off. I might have to just cut it. Yeah, it's already bound up. Get a pair of pliers. And they have these goofy round nuts. These round nuts here that you can't... I think it might be coming. Oh boy. I don't think so. I have to pull on it while I turn it. It's bound up. I'm just going to cut the damn thing. Are you kidding me? It's going to fight me, isn't it? Snap it? No. Okay, let's grip the nut and let's turn the nut, this screw. Stripped. Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna get angry here pretty soon. I hate aluminum screws. They're so useless. There we go. Made a mess of everything. Alright. We didn't wreck the cartridge, I don't think. Now it does say made in Japan on the back, on the top. I don't know if you can see that, made in Japan. But like it should have some kind of Audio-Technica written on it somewhere. And it doesn't. So let's get rid of this. Let's get some new hardware. Okay, I got some 2.5, M2.5, and I'm going to use 12 millimeter long. I think 12 millimeter will work. Get a couple of these out. I'm pretty sure it should be long enough. What was that? Might be too long. I got 10mm here. That should be alright. I'm going to put a nut on there. Okay, I'll get another one of those. And then I need 2 nuts. I could put M2 hardware on here, be a little lighter. It's not that the weight is. I'm gonna clean this. This looks terrible. Some alcohol. Let's clean out these grooves because you can see that from the top. I don't think I need washers. We'll just use M2.5. Clean this as well. This is dirty. Okay. Do that again. Now, I was looking online at pictures of the HT-95 cartridge, and it had a threaded insert here. So this is what makes me suspicious of this one. I don't know where this turntable came from, and I don't know its history. I don't know anything about it. So, and this is a 2mm hex, which is perfect for my M2.5. Get this to cooperate. There we go. This hardware might be too big. What I might have to do is put the nuts up top. Yeah, because this nut is already binding here, and I'm not even tight yet. So let me take this and flip the hardware over. And it's going to look a little silly, but it's going to have the nut on top. And you know what? I think a 10mm will work, because I have more than 2mm sticking out the top. So let me change my hardware around. I'll be right back. I thought I had 10mm, but I don't. I have 8, which is too short. Just have to get some more of these in stock, different sizes. Okay, the beauty of this is it shouldn't spin. Yeah, it's not, I'm probably gonna, I'm gonna end up ordering some more of these 10mm instead of 12. But I'll just get it tight enough that we can slide it around. And we're gonna make our adjustments. Okay, I'll just leave it like that. All right, here's our new stylus. Let's pop that in. The magnets go in this opening, and not the greatest fit. Okay, here's the lowdown. So this is an AliExpress special. Paid 20 bucks for this this stylus. Doesn't seem to fit right. It is offset. I don't know, you can see it. It's pretty. It seems like the magnets are too far back and they're not centered in the pickup coils. But when you load it, it seems to move the magnets even farther. But we're going to spin with this and we're going to see how it works, if it works at all. Probably I wasted my 20 bucks to buying this. Now I went online looking at genuine Audio-Technica N95 styluses. Audio-Technica site lists them, but they're out of stock, and they want 65 bucks plus delivery. Amazon, on the other hand, looks like they have legitimate, and it looks like they have knockoffs. The knockoffs are about 15 bucks or so. But if I go buy a knockoff, I might end up with the exact same thing what I got here. If I buy the genuine item, I don't know. So we're gonna run with this and test it and see how it sounds. You're gonna hear it too. I'm gonna do a test video. So let's put this on. Let's set it up. Let's align it, and we'll get it all set up properly, and then we'll see what kind of sound this thing makes. Kind of squeaking it does. I don't know. I'm not too hopeful at this point, but I don't want to dump a lot of money into this turntable. It is. I don't know where this turntable came from. I think it came from a garage sale, to be honest. And I don't know how much I'm into this turntable already. I just, want to get it going and get it out the door. But let's see how this works. So let's set up the tone arm. Look at the filth on that thing. Let's, we've got to set the weight first. Let's do that next. Okay, but we need to put this on. This is a critical component. Tighten it down. Okay. So what we want to do is we want to do a zero float. Let me move the camera in a different position. Okay, we want to do our zero float. It's not plugged in, so the power. Okay, so we're. Oh, this is. What the hell's going on here? Somebody had the counterweight on backwards. Or I couldn't see no numbers. Okay. Let's do our zero float. The reason I do it with an album is because it gives you the correct height. If you do it without the album on the mat, then you're not getting the correct height and you're not getting a true zero. So that's why I... okay, let's get this down. And we'll get it to float just above the surface of the album. And I think it's floating about 1 millimeter above, so I was going to leave it there. Now I'll set this indicator to 0 and hold the weight from turning and just set the indicator to 0. There's really no line there. I'm just going with okay, so let's crank this up. Let's just start with 1 gram. That should be 1 gram there. Let me get my scale. Little turntable scale. You can get these on AliExpress or eBay probably for less than 10 bucks, and it's just a little. They're actually pretty accurate, if you ask me. I've tested them against real scales, and they do pretty good. So we'll turn it on. And it won't zero? Why it won't? Okay. Now you see I had it up like that. That's where it's zeroed. But if I move it like this, it says 3 grams. See? So you have to have it. Okay, so let's reposition the camera and get this in frame so you can see it. Turn this on, let it zero. Okay. Look at that. Pretty accurate. And we are at 1 gram. Not bad. Not bad. So I don't know what the spec is for this cartridge. Let's just put it at 1.5 grams. Okay, set up the cartridge. Let's get rid of this album. And let's use our scale. I don't know if you saw this before, you guys. I've shown this on the channel a few times. HudsonHiFi.com. You can actually get downloadable PDFs of this and print it off on your printer, and then you can just cut a hole in the paper, put it on your platter, and you have the same thing. It's not as fancy as with the mirrored background or anything, but this is typically what you do. You get that on there, and then we set our needle right on the crosshairs, just like this. And then you position yourself, and you have a good look, and you look at how the cartridge is aligned, and I can see it's way off. Way off. Now, these 2 screws, I didn't over tighten them for this reason, so I want to be able to slide this cartridge around. So I should be able to give it a little twist by hand and bring that cartridge in line with the grid. The cartridge has to line up with the grid, and it is now. It's perfect. Then you swing over here and put the needle on here and position that, and I can see right now it's perfect. Now if it wasn't perfect, what you do is you slide the cartridge back or backwards or forwards. That's why they have slotted holes on the top head shell. You can slide the cartridge backwards and forwards until it lines up, and then you go back and you check this one again, and then you check this one, and you keep going until they both line up. But we lucked out first time here for some reason, I don't know how. So that is good and square. And this is good and square. And what that does is it sets up the cartridge for the proper alignment. It gets it steering the right way, this way or this way, because the tone arm is going to create an arc across the album. It's going to be an arc, and on these 2 points, the cartridge is going to be perfectly aligned with the groove. Okay. But on these other points, it's going to be close, because obviously it's an arc. It's not a straight line. If it was linear tracking turntable, we wouldn't be doing this. But here we are. Okay, so we're ready to plug in an amplifier and see how well this thing sounds, if at all. Give me a second to hook up the amp. And just before we start, we're going to check the operation of the cueing. So we're down, up, down. Got nice action to it. Put the weight of the tone arm on it, might drop a little faster, but we'll see how that works. Alright, here we go. First play. Might kick it off. No? Yeah. It's a cycle through. It's okay. Now we're good. Doesn't sound very good at all. A lot of distortion in the left. I happen to think that stylus it's not positioned properly. Sounds pretty. I have to think we are not good yet. Loosen this, pull this. Yeah, I need to get this sorted because these magnets are not in the right position at all. Let me think about this. Let me see what I can do. I actually think I can get it here if I hold it in the vise I can get in here and whittle away at it with the knife, and I can just carve away little bits at a time. Don't have to get carried away. And be careful not to destroy anything. We'll get it to work, don't worry. It's going to be a gooder. I just don't want to get too carried away with knife and then cut the. So give me a minute here, I'll play with this. Let's put our cartridge back. I have a good feeling about this. I think it's going to work. But you know what? I was really royally screwed up my alignment here. I'm going to have to redo that. So let's just get the test out of the way here. Up. Sounds a lot better. You know what? I think it needs more weight. Let's give it 2 grams. Still sounds like crap. Yeah. Love is in the air. Okay. I'm happier than when I was 10 minutes ago. I'm going to realign the cartridge because it did move on me when I was manhandling the stylus. So let me do that. Don't need to watch that again. And then I'll do a test video. I'll get a decent vinyl and we'll do a test video, and then we'll let you hear what it sounds like. I don't think my bench is too level, but looking at this, it is pretty much bang on. Yeah, I think it's good. I don't see... It's good enough. Okay, we're going to do something a little different here today. Instead of looking at the turntable, we're going to look at the record. Now, this album here, this is Little Feet. Feet Don't Fail Me Now. I don't know where this came from. This album looks like it's been sitting out in the open for a decade, and it's got dust and dirt embedded in the grooves. And this side's dusty. I haven't brushed this side off. This side I did brush off with one of these felt brushes, or velvet brushes, and it takes the surface dust off, right? But it doesn't get down into the grooves and clean it. So let's have a look at the surface of the record and just see what we're dealing with dirt. So have a look at this. Focus the camera. And you can see all that dirt in there. It looks like it was buried in the garden. Look at all the garbage in those grooves. Now you gotta appreciate a stylus going through all that garbage, and every time you hit a piece of that trash, you're gonna get a pop and click. Another thing is, all this stuff is abrasive. All this garbage that's in the tracks is abrasive. So when you run over it with a stylus, what you're doing is you're actually either embedding it into the vinyl, or you're knocking it out of the way, which causes a scratch in the vinyl. Okay, and I'm talking about the vinyl groove. Now we want to get this out of here. This side is terrible. I can show you a bit more of it. There's between 2 songs. You can see there's a. And let's spin this. Let's see if we can find the track, the groove between the 2 songs. Not yet. Where is it? You can see all the scratches too on the surface. Where are you? There's some good visual on some scratches, surface scratches. The thing with surface scratches is it damages the top end of the groove, and it kind of mushrooms the top of the groove in, so when your stylus goes by, it catches those little defects and makes a kind of a hiss or pop. Where is the groove? I don't see it. I'm not seeing it. Oh, here it is. Okay, we're getting it. There it is. Okay, so there's the groove between the two songs. And the lathe, the record lathe, as it finishes one song and moves on to the next, it creates a space. And it's just dead air. There's no signal information in that. Let me focus this a little better. There's no signal information in that groove. It's just all dirt. But you can hear all those pops and clicks. That's all garbage. So I'm going to clean this album. I'm going to show you how I clean it. So there's some surface dust. Let's look at the other side. The other side's not as bad. It's got a lot of surface dust because I haven't used the brush on it. Surface dust is no good either because the stylus will pick it up. It gets hung up on the stylus and then it creates a ball of fuzz. And look at all this. And it kind of acts like a brush. And what it does is it collects more and more dust. It's like a snowball rolling down the hill. And it gets to the point where there's so much dust on the stylus that the stylus can't track the groove anymore. It gets lifted up by all that dust. And then it starts to skip and skate across the record surface. So let's go wash this, and then I'll give you a visual of what it looks like after. Okay, I'm going to use a laundry sink, and I'm just going to put it in here. I like the laundry sink because it's got lots of room. You can use your kitchen sink. I'm going to use this cleaner here, Spray 9. This is great for plastics and vinyl. Not so much for aluminum. Don't use this on aluminum. It's kind of caustic, I think. So it's a great... I'm just going to go around and give this lots of juice that way. And I'm going to use a soft toothbrush. It's a brand new toothbrush. Reason it's a toothbrush is it's got softer bristles. And I'm just going to go with the grooves. Try not to go against the grooves. It doesn't really matter, but it's not going to be as effective. So just give it a scrub. You can already see the suds are turning brown from the dirt and the dust. Try not to get the label wet. We're going to be rinsing it, but it's going to get wet anyway, but the longer it stays dry, the better. So let's just keep scrubbing. And I could flip it over and do the other side. And you can use dish soap and water as well. This side's cleaner. This side's cleaner. It's not being as dirty as the other side. This side's not as bad. I'm going to leave this side. More around the edge. People usually handle the records with their fingers on the edge, so give the edge a good scrub to get all those oils and grease and fingerprints. Okay, I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to do this side one more time. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to start rinsing. So now you want to rinse it with mildly warm water or cold water. We don't want to get hot water on this because it'll warp. So I just cold water and just give her. Okay. I'll put this, lay this on a towel, and I'll just dab it to absorb the water and let it dry. Now you can see the label got wet and it's got spotted. Just let that air dry and it'll come back. The thing is, you don't want to get that wet and then rub it with anything, because you'll actually remove the paper. But this is looking a lot better. Let's look at it under the microscope and see how much is improved. Okay, our record's dry. Let's have a good look at it. The label turned out, well, one side of the label is quite dirty and the other side of the label was clean. So this thing sat in open air for quite a long time. I see a lot of dirt still in the grooves. Let's look at this side. This side's looking better. Now a lot of what you're looking at there is scratches, but there is dirt in the groove still, a little bit. Not as bad as it was. Let's get away from the scratches. Maybe we can look at a spot where there's less scratches. And see, the dirt is not as bad. Let's look at the other side. This side here, we've got some dust. Can't get a focus on this. Looks like all scratches. Hang on. See if I can get a good look for you. Yeah, it's hard to tell. Let me turn. No wonder I can't. I gotta turn more lights on here. Hang on. Yeah. Some of these grooves are well, it's better than what it was, that's for sure. But it's still not perfect. I could probably wash it one more time and it would come out better yet. Part of the problem of washing it like the way I did is you're gonna, when your brush is contaminated with dirt and everything, so you probably want to wash it maybe 2 or 3 times with rinses between to get rid of all that crap, because one time might not be enough. But yeah, a lot of what we're looking at is scratches now. Yeah, there's still stuff in the grooves, but it's better. Okay. Now look what I found in my parts bin here is another stylus. This is a brand new one, and it looks like another Chinese knockoff. Probably something I've bought in the past. I'm going to fit this one and see if we have any improvement in sound or if it sounds the same. This one I'm not too hopeful for, because if you look at it, it looks like the cantilever, the stylus, is off-centered. It's crooked. See if I straighten it. So that's, yeah, I'm not hopeful for this one either. But I'm going to see if I can fit this one. It has the same problem as the other one with the casting. It has a ledge there. Let me take it out and show you. If we can get a screwdriver, we'll pry this one out. And show them side by side, and you can see. I don't know if you can see this, but it looks like I might have to do the same hack on this one. The green one is cut out that bit of plastic, because I don't think it's going to mount properly. You can try it right now. Actually, you know what? It's not fitting. I can't seat it. I push down on it. We have a huge gap underneath, so I'm going to have to do. Yeah, the magnets aren't even in the correct position, so I'm going to have to do some surgery on this one to get it to drop down. We'll see if this one sounds any better or not. Okay, I trimmed the plastic and I was able to get it to snap in, so it's seated now, and you can see it's seated and gone home. Now I think this one might be a little better. I'm still concerned about the way the stylus is leaning one side. It might give one channel an advantage over the other. Who knows? So let me try this out and we'll see if it sounds any better. I know this one sounded terrible. It's flat, it's got no bass. That might be just the low quality of the suspension there. But we're going to give it a try. Alright, so I just finished doing 2 test videos. One with the green stylus, one with the red stylus. I haven't listened to this one yet, but I think this one sounds better just from what I'm hearing on the bench speakers. This one here sounds pretty bad, and I don't know if I want to post both videos because it's an assault to you guys, but this thing sounds pretty low quality. It's missing a lot of the bass notes, and this one works better on the bass end of things. Mid-range, they're both probably about the same. High end, I think the green one's better, so I'm going to leave it at that. A lot of work I did to this one. Well, not really. A fair amount. Did some work to it, and we tuned it up. But the biggest thing about turntables is your cartridge and your stylus. If you get a good high-end stylus and cartridge, you're going to get good sound. Same goes for your speakers. You're going to get better sound out of your high-end speakers than you are with just regular. So that's the 2 biggest factors in getting great sound is cartridge and speakers. So this is a good turntable. It just has a crappy cartridge and a crappy stylus. So that's why it sounded the way it did. So don't hate on this turntable because it sounds terrible. Hate on the cartridge and the Chinese stylus. This is actually a pretty good turntable. I would run with it if I had no other one to go with. But you know, I don't know. Is there any love for a plastic turntable? Yeah, people are using turntables now, I guess. This one has an unfortunate reality is that the lid is cracked, and it's cracked quite severely, which really detracts from it. But it's not a bad belt drive turntable, to tell you the truth. It's actually pretty good. Now, another thing is the album. The album is unknown. I don't know where it came from. It's got an unknown history. It could have been played on garbage turntables as well. It's got some nasty scratches in it. Look at the nasty scratches there. And we did wash it, and it came quite clean. But it's got some nasty scuffs and scratches. So, yeah, this is not the best record. I didn't want to put my good vinyl on and play with a garbage stylus because I could do damage to my good vinyl. But this is actually not a bad test. It's a real world test. It gives you an example of what it really sounds like. So I'm going to post one of these 2. I haven't decided which one yet. You'll see it on the channel. And yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.